Hi, everyone. Robbie Young here, Vice President of Strategic Growth at CUInsight.com. And today I bring you a 3 questions video interview with some really special guests. Joining me is Libby Calderone, President and COO at Envisant, and Tom Kane, President of the Illinois Credit Union League and CEO of Envisant. I'm so excited for our conversation, as I'm sure our viewers are too. Tom, Libby, thanks so much. Let's jump right in. What is the Curql Fund II investment opportunity, and how can credit unions get involved with this opportunity?
Thank you, Robbie. Appreciate being on the show today. So Curql Fund is a fund that's for credit unions, built for credit unions by credit unions and CUSO. So it is a CUSO. It's Curql Collective that has combined a bunch of different investments. They first started in 2021 as a venture capital fund for investment in fintechs related directly to credit unions. Back in 2021, they had about 69 credit unions and other organizations come together, contribute funds, raise $252 million, and they invested in about 29 fintechs, one of which exited at a profit. And then those fintechs then provide products and services specifically to credit unions. Those are all CUSOs. So they had such great success in the first round that they created a second round earlier this year, or actually they started last year, and they've raised nearly $200 million so far to be able to invest in more fintechs. And our engagement in that is we've actually invested money in Curql Fund, and kind of let Libby talk about that a little bit. But there is another opportunity right now for credit unions to get involved in this and invest in the future of our organization, which are these digital solutions that these fintechs are offering.
Libby, what advantages or benefits does this investment type offer credit unions?
Well, the unique thing about this investment is it's not a direct investment into Curql. What you're doing is investing in Envisant, and then we're aggregating those dollars together, and we're making the investment into Curql. One of the biggest benefits then for the credit unions are it's the amount. A direct investment into Curql Fund II is a minimum $2 million investment. And we found that that was just a little bit too much for some credit unions to make. They just didn't want to invest $2 million. So by aggregating an investment into Envisant, so we issued a special class of stock with a minimum investment of $100,000. You buy the Envisant stock, we aggregate those funds then, and we invest them into Curql Fund II on your behalf, sharing the gains and losses back to you on a pro rata basis, back to the credit union. So it's a way for fintechs or for credit unions to dabble in fintechs, get exposure to the space with a much smaller investment of only $100,000 to $750,000 versus the $2 million investment. And then by participating in the Curql Fund investment group, you'll get all the same benefits as a direct investor by investing through Envisant. You get to attend their monthly calls that they have. And this is where fintechs come on and present the solutions. And then it's a bit of a Shark Tank experience, if you will, and get to debate and discuss the merits of the fintech solution. But you get to hear this thought leadership from really bright minds out there in the fintech space. So that credit unions find very engaging. And that's probably one of the big advantages. But the biggest advantage I see to credit unions to participate in this is the leverage terms that these fintech solutions offer. They all offer, either, let's say, reduced one-time setup charges or reduced monthly fees for their fintech solutions to everyone who's invested in the Curql Fund. And the investors in Envisant to the Curql Fund get to take advantage of those same leverage terms. And that can really be a big savings for a credit union. So I think that's one of the biggest advantages to them. And, again, we've heard from several credit unions who participated with us in the Curql opportunity is their boards like seeing them involved in these fintech solutions, because boards are always challenging management. What are we doing with fintechs? That's all we hear about is fintechs. What's happening? And this is a way for credit unions to dabble in the fintech space for really a pretty small investment of a minimum $100,000.
That's awesome. Tom, how does this investment approach reduce risk for credit unions compared to individual investments?
Sure. we've actually made some individual investments. And so that means that, you're taking your chips and you're basically placing them on one bet, a single particular fintech. The wonderful thing about Curql is that, as I mentioned before, in the Curql One, they invested in 29 different companies. Not all those companies are going to have equal amounts of success, which is another way of saying maybe not all of them are going to make it. Maybe not all of them are going to be financially successful. Some of them will. So we like to think of it almost like a mutual fund for investments. So rather than picking a specific single investment that you're going to, put your money into, you're kind of spreading your funds. And even the way that you're doing it, the offering that we have, which by the way, we've already done a $2 million investment. We've had 14 credit unions that contributed $1.9 million. We threw in 100,000 ourselves. We've already made our first $2 million investment. So now we're collecting money for our second investment that we're going to do. But the nice thing is that it's spread, that risk is spread across a number of different fintech investments and not a single one. So, you may not end up with, a home run from an investment standpoint, but there could be a lot of doubles and singles in there as well. And ultimately, the way we pitch it is, $100,000 investment in Envisant that we take and we combine with others to do a $2 million investment. That's like 3 or 4 car loans. So it's not that big of a deal for a credit union to much of a financial risk anyway. But the one thing that it does is it buys you a seat at that table to those bi-monthly calls that Libby was describing and those discounts that you could potentially get from any one of those, either from a Curql One company or a Curql Two company. You're eligible for those discounts from any of those if you end up using one of those vendors.
That's awesome. And what a true representation of the credit union spirit to get involved. This is all really great information. As we wrap up our conversation, do you all have any final thoughts or asks for our audience today?
Well, I would urge the audience, if they're interested in learning more, to check out our website, Envisant.com, or email us at Curql, CURQL. So note the unique spelling of Curql, CURQL, at Envisant.com, and we can share further information with you to get involved. We're hosting regular webinars on it where Curql comes on, Next Level Ventures, the fund manager comes on, and we come on and we really explain the investment opportunity in greater detail. So it's just a great opportunity to get involved. And yeah, time is a bit of the essence. So, this fund offering isn't going to be open forever. It is going to run until early Q1 next year. But the sooner you get involved, if you're interested, the better, because sometimes you have to go through your boards and have regular meetings like that. So, we urge you to, if you're at all interested, to just sit in on one of our webinars and hear a little bit more about it, or give us a call and we'll happily talk to your credit union uniquely. So.
Awesome. Well, we'll be sure to include all that information about how to get in touch with both you and Tom, as well as Envisant and Curql, in our notes below. Thank you both again for coming on and chatting with me today. It's been a pleasure to connect, and thank you so much for your time. And a final thank you to all of you that tuned in today for this 3 questions video interview, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.